Okay, we're looking at 10 more preposition mistakes. And before I start this class, I just want to make something clear because it's come up quite a lot in lessons. And that's, people do ask, is it speak to somebody, is it talk to somebody, or is it speak with somebody? Is it talk with somebody? Well, in the UK, it's definitely not with, it's definitely to. But I have read that in the US, they do use with. Now, I imagine that even in the US, with is only normal in certain areas. I imagine, I'm guessing. I've never been to America, so I don't know. But in the UK, it's definitely to, guys, okay? Speak to somebody, talk to somebody. And this is the tricky thing with prepositions. People do use them differently in different areas, in different countries. And I mean, for example, when I first started teaching, my boss, and I'm sure she was following what Cambridge say, because Cambridge do say this. My boss told me to stop saying on the weekend and start saying at the weekend. And so I did, we got to kind of all teach the same thing. But recently I tried a place called Ngrams, and this is an excellent place to check what prepositions are actually used. And I saw that even in the UK, on the weekend is now more common than at the weekend. And so if you want to check, go to Google Ngrams and you can find out sometimes, I don't want to say it's always reliable to follow, because sometimes you have to use a preposition that the sources consider correct, even if everybody else uses a different one. But you can use Google Ngrams to actually see which preposition is more common in the corpus of literature, of American, British literature. And so it's a very good resource for checking prepositional phrases, which preposition is correct. Okay, so that's one thing to bear in mind. If you want to see, is it on my own or by my own? Yeah, and that's another very common mistake. But you just check Ngrams and you'll very quickly see it's on my own, yeah? And if you think, is it on myself or by myself, you check Ngrams and you'll very quickly see that it's by myself. Now, this is a very common mistake and I've repeated it twice. So the student said he took the baby out from the pram, and another student said they kicked him out from the band. Neither of them sound terrible. Yeah, that's the first thing to remember. A lot of these mistakes, natives wouldn't even necessarily notice. They wouldn't. But it's not correct. It should be out of. And that's why I've got that written there, because you often see those two prepositions together. It's the opposite of into. Yeah? He got into the car, got out of the car. He walked into the room, walked out of the room. There are so many different phrasal verbs where they're opposites. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, Dave, I hear people say get in the car, get out the car. And you're right. In informal English, in everyday English, we do. And so that's important as well. Even though out of is the opposite of into, you very often see them shortened to just out and in. I mean, really, they show movement, out of, into. Take something out of my pocket, put something into my pocket. But very often we say take something out my pocket, put something in my pocket. You do often hear that of missed, but I don't recommend you do that in academic work. And one more thing. Natives very often say off of, yeah, and that's not a good thing to say. It doesn't really make much sense. They say, I got it off of, I don't know, someone in the market, yeah, meaning I bought it. I bought it from someone in the market. And this is an important thing as well.